Hello, how are you doing? Welcome back to some more F1 22 in another part of our My Team career mode with Brawn GP. Today we are back with the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're going to quickly renew those sponsors, and I have made a few little tweaks to the livery. You can see there she is right there. I'll sort of show you the before and after. I did throw a few together. This was the best one that I think I could put together. Obviously, that's last year's livery, looking awesome. That's another couple that I put together, but this one was the one that we had at the start of the season. I did think it looked good, but... or was it this one? No, it was definitely this one, wasn't it? This was what... our car looked like at the start, but I have went ahead and changed it now to look like this, and I do like it. I think it brings the Brawn yellow in a little bit more, and hopefully will bring us success. Certainly looks like a fast car. We just need to turn that into results, and hopefully today we will not run out of fuel. That's what I'm determined not to do. Anyway, we have nearly 3,000 resource points to spend here, so let's go ahead and do that. I think, do we already have? Yeah, we already have one of these in development, so it's all going to be about working out what's going to be the best for the team going forward. They're all pretty big upgrades, so we'll come back to it. They're all pretty expensive, aren't they? Goodness me. That one, I suppose, has come down a little bit, but that's a huge upgrade there. Again, another big one. Some little small upgrades that can happen, but... I guess we're going to go for the biggest thing we can in terms of performance, which I think is this one. And that'll be in place just after the Australian Grand Prix, which would be good. And then, can we get one more in as well? I don't think so. Not at this stage. So... I mean, there's this one. We might as well get this one in as well. That will also be in place for just after the Australian Grand Prix. So we've got a significant upgrade coming in for MLF for the chassis. It will take us up to sort of Mercedes levels of performance, and maybe even ahead of them, if it all comes together. But that's a huge upgrade. It makes us look forward to Imola even more this year than we normally would. Let's pop a little activity on there. What do we want to do? Honestly, I think the G-Force trade, and we want Hulkenberg to be as good as possible, but this is going to be an awesome Grand Prix. I can't wait to get into qualifying and be on the edge with this car. So here we go. Let's get into it and see how we get on in qualifying. Here we come up to the line then at the start of Q1, and it's a 132.4, which is nowhere near good enough. We were 3 seconds off our teammate Nico Hulkenberg in practice. I just have no idea why we're so slow. I don't remember being this slow last year, but just really struggling, particularly through this section. The front end grip, the car just sort of gives up on us. Back end there. You can see, I mean, we're nearly a second up on Zhou Guanyu in that first sector, but just really struggling.
One lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty.
Now we've made a bit of contact with the wall. I think we're going to really struggle. Obviously, we're using a lap old tyres, which won't help the situation, but we might as well try. But there we go. And the back end steps out. Gonna have to let the AlphaTauri past. But yeah, pretty awful so far, and yeah, I'm pretty depressed about the pace of the car at the moment. Well, this is a much better time, but I'm really not sure where we're going to come out here. We come up to the line. Oh, and it is just enough to get through to Q2. But only just 13th. Our car is so much better than that. And we are butchering it at the moment. Well, there we go. At 30.8, we've matched our Q1 time, and apparently that's enough for third quickest at the moment. It certainly won't stay there. You can see Schumacher, he's just gone a little bit quicker, but yeah, just really struggling to hook together a good lap. That it's weird that the downforce on the car seems to change from lap to lap, and it is just an absolute handful. Well, here we go then, as we come up to the line. Try not to leave the track. A P11, well, we'll take that. We'll take that. Starting just outside the top 10. But yeah, just no pace in the car, I'm afraid. We in the end, a 10th off our teammate. You know, that is some recovery to get to that. A 1:29.1, the quickest time from Max Verstappen in Q2. Going out in Q2 then, both Alpines, the Alfa Romeo of Bottas, as well as Oscar Piastri and Pierre Gasly. Let's see how we get on in the race. It could be a long one.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the Lower Hejaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Carlos Sainz, and Hamilton, Russell, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, and Mick Schumacher. The captain, Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, and Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, and Lance Stroll, Albon, Tsunoda, Joe, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mercedes. We have some changes to the regulations, of course, which mainly revolve around the chassis this year, and unfortunately the early signs are that they've not adapted particularly well.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
Well, if only this weekend couldn't get worse. We've got the Elgato no signal flickering. We're going to go for projected this time. I'm going to make sure there's plenty of fuel in the tank. 4 extra laps worth. I did up the front wing level for the final lap in qualifying, but the car did honestly feel all over the place. So I'm just going to go back to basics. We're going to go with a normal strategy. We're not trying anything different here. We're just going to try our best to survive and get to the end of the race. But Lando Norris on pole. Go on, son.
The lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead. making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
It's a shiny new livery in action. I love it. I've got to say, I love it. And we are ready and raring for the off. Here we go. It's going to be perhaps a very short race because I'm going to bin it on the first lap. Or could we get something out of it? Here we go. Lights out. So here we go. Here in Saudi Arabia. Decent start off the grid for us. Schumacher comes over to cover. We're going to try and take the outside line into turn one as Schumacher loses an end plate there. And we go around the inside of our teammate Nico Hülkenberg. We are up to 9th at the start of this Grand Prix as we now come into the very, very fast section. And this is where we've been struggling all weekend to even keep it in a straight line, keep it on track, never mind follow other cars. We just about managed to get through and somehow don't get the track extension warning. Nico Hülkenberg having a little look down the inside. We're going to give him the room. But we had to back out of that because we were about to go into the wall. This is what I mean. The setup just isn't right this weekend. I've tried lots of different setups, including last year's setup, which, you know, I don't remember it being this bad. But just not working at the moment, and we already have lost around about a second to Daniel Ricciardo up ahead, so things are not going well. Well, you join me coming towards the end of lap 2, and we've actually caught up to Ricciardo a bit. They're scrapping ahead, so we are managing to hang on. And hopefully now we've got DRS. There might be something here. Surely there was contact there between Perez and Hamilton. We managed to do a little switcheroo on Ricciardo and close right in. But yeah, a very pedestrian pace being set by all of us at the moment. We are going to get a bit of a train going if we're not careful. But I think we have to take the positives from this. We're in 9th place. You know, and not particularly looking like we're going to lose it anytime soon. But here comes Nico Hülkenberg potentially. There's George Russell having a look on the outside of Perez. Did Perez make contact with Hamilton? Is that why we're now being cut adrift by the 7-time world champion? Who knows? Well, look at this. DRS actually being a little bit, you know, powerful for us for once. Right behind Daniel Ricciardo here. No, Perez isn't coming into the pit, so he mustn't have damage. But this could be a bit of a chance on Ricciardo. We have a look down the inside. Little bit of contact, but I think we're okay. We are through. And we actually make an overtake in this Grand Prix. A genuine overtake as well. What's going on? I think our DRS is slightly more powerful than Ricciardo at the moment, and we do get back through. He's having a little look. He makes contact. Oh wow! Well,
right. Let me know you're okay.
That is the end of that one. Goodness me! I mean, we were side by side with Ricciardo. It was looking quite good, really. We brake, okay. Maybe close the door a little bit if we have a look on board with Daniel Ricciardo. Let's see. Oh, I mean, you know, I don't think the gap was there particularly, but we could have maybe left him a little bit more room, but he makes contact, sends us round, and then round comes Kevin Magnussen, and straight into the side of us. I mean, there's not much we could have done there. You know, I know we were trying to move, but yeah, straight into us, and that is the end of our Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we are out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix collision with Kevin Magnussen, and that was short but sweet. Disappointingly, I feel we actually had the pace there in the race.
Grand Prix to a close as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today.
And there's Charles Leclerc with the number 1 on the front. There you go.
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Lando Norris managed to finish second. McLaren looking good in the early stages. But yeah, what a disappointment.
So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there you have it then. Charles Leclerc wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Lando Norris finishes second. Verstappen third with Sainz in fourth there. Perez finishes fifth. Hamilton sixth. Russell seventh. Ricciardo finishes eighth. Which I believe we could have maybe finished there. Hülkenberg 9th, getting our first points of the season, and Valtteri Bottas in 10th. DNFs ourselves, of course, Oscar Piastri and Kevin Magnussen, who, of course, lost his front wing with us in there. Standings-wise, Hülkenberg moves up to 11th in the championship. Charles Leclerc, 2 wins out of 2. He leads the championship by 20 points over his teammate Carlos Sainz. We then have the British trio of Norris, Russell and Hamilton following, with Perez and Verstappen following them. Ricciardo rounds out the top 8. We are currently 17th after 2 races. Very disappointing. We do get our first points on the board as a team though, and still very much in the battle for 5th, you would say. But anything more than that is starting to already look out of sight. But what a disappointment. I mean, there's not really anything we could have done, I don't think. You know, we started off very, very well. It was a good start off the grid. You can see we take that outside line. A little bit of carbon fibre already gone. Lovely little battle there between us two. You can see, and we kept it nice and clean, and then we went on our merry way. And then it was on to lap 2. All looking good. This is when we really caught up to Daniel Ricciardo and co. By lap 3, within a second, and lap 4, this was where we made the overtake happen. And actually side by side there, and it was a good move on Daniel Ricciardo. Okay, there was a little bit of contact, and maybe that's what tempted him to go for it the next lap with us, but you can see he's right in our slipstream there, and we managed to hold the position. And you know, we were struggling a little bit through these sweeping bends, but we did manage it, and all the way until the end of the lap you can see Ricciardo following us there. We were actually making a little bit of ground, but there came Daniel Ricciardo down the inside. We left him the room round the outside, and then of course it was a drag race up to the finish line. We both had DRS. It was who was quickest, and we were actually slightly quicker in a straight line, but then Ricciardo made the move, spun us round. We tried to move, but then Magnussen just ended up riding us. I mean, how did Hulkenberg manage to stop? What happened here? So Hulkenberg, he managed to stop, and well, I mean, so did the other guys, but we didn't get to see what happened next. Piastri there, he did eventually, obviously, was out of the Grand Prix. But there you go. There you have it. That is a short but sweet Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and continues a very difficult start to the season for us. And hopefully, next time out, we'll be able to improve. We've obviously got the Australian Grand Prix. It's where we got our first points last year in a bit of a bonkers race, really.
The team's income is looking
we'll
very
see.
robust right now. It's time for you to have a think about our profit margin and what areas of the operation might benefit from that money.
We'll definitely see as we go forward. Of course, we have got plenty of R&D development points to put into the team, so we'll see, but hopefully in the next episode our fortunes will change and we'll get this season back on track. But if you have enjoyed that, then give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.